and many of them, like we know, is the pikake or the jasmine, and it's very, very scented. And so, if the lay would just kind of walk in a very stagnant room, you would follow this journey of this lay and the scent. And so, that's another way of looking at what Allah is the scent, Allah, Allah, and as that scent move, it creates a pathway. So that's another way of looking what Allah is all about. Allah can also be used as wake up, like Allah a. So that is another when the scent walks in and you just smell it and you're like, whoo, you wake up. So it's a lot of formation in the word. It's like our read today. Our read in the word aloha, love. It's a little different in Hawaii when we look at this word love. Love is a little different, and when we look at it, um, and there's many locations for us because the word love is connected to the word aloha, which is one of the greatest gifts that we received from, of course, the highest of the spirit. And so we relate that word aloha to the word love, but that translation of what love is on this side is not the translation of what aloha is on this side. So it's a little different, but I was sitting here really, really trying to understand the read of what this love is. But this is what Allah is all about. And when we look at Allah Ke Ola, Ke Ola is the life. So it's like our journey that we walked, our journey that we're walking, and then our journey that we're going to walk into. And that's what this whole chant is certainly all about. We gain information, we understand what is being said, and then we try to see what is it in our culture, the Hawaiian culture, that's sort of equal or it's related to. And that's what's really, really interesting. Because as a cultural practitioner or a cultural person that lives it, um, we don't take the English and fit it into Hawaiian. We put our Hawaiian and try and fit it into the English, which is very confusing. But as long as we can touch a little bit, we're okay. That's what cultural living is all about. So this is the chant, and the chant talks about that and how we have to determine our own journey, our own Allah that we live. We live either now, the past, or the future. So we're gonna learn the first one. Allah Ke Ola. Repeat after me. Allah Ke Ola. One more time. Allah Ke Ola. Can you folks hear me out there? Cyber? You can? It doesn't sound like it's coming out over there. No, we can. We can, yes. But them. Want to make sure that they can. That's why I'm wearing this thing. Other than that, I wouldn't want to wear this thing. But can you hear? All right. So our first word line is Allah Ke Ola. And then to help us out, the chant uses our vowels. And so in Hawaiian, our vowel sounds are a, e, I, O, and U. So repeat after me. A, E. Oh, good job, gang. Oh, right on. Yes, that's it. So in our first line, we hold on that and then we say the words Allah Keola. And after Allah Keola, we say E. So in this chant, we look, if we can imagine the setting of the wave, and as the wave kind of retreats into the crest of the wave. So the water goes into the wave as the wave builds up, and then it turns into white water. And then that water runs all the way into shoreline. So if you can imagine that, that's how we begin to practice this chant. And so we hold that sound ah, and we go all the way into the crest of the wave. And as the crest of the wave goes into that white water, we say the words and we ride that white water all the way until it clears out. All right. So here we go. Listen first. Allah Ke Ola. One more time. Listen first. Allah Ke Ola. So if you're down by the ocean, that's that pattern you want to just kind of watch as the water kind of gets into that crest of that water ocean, and then white water just comes goes in all the way to the shoreline. Here we don't have white sandy beach. If you drive all the way up to Puako on the north side, you have a nice white sandy beach. I'm not even sure if Manini Valley is long enough. Manini Valley is the originating for the beach area that our local people call Kua Bay, but Kua Bay is further out by the hill. So everyone don't swim in Kua Bay. Everyone swims over there at Manini Valley. Manini Valley is the beach area, but Kua Bay is all the way out where the shark is. So you have to swim all the way out to the point, and that is Kua Bay. So we're not swimming at Kua Bay. We're swimming at Manini Valley. So again, Manini Valley is very similar to the north side of Kona. We have the beach that's called Adnai Ho'omalu, and everybody just kind of simply calls it, yeah, that one. That's not the name. But it's Adnai Ho'omalu all the way up. That's the northern point of Kona. And then coming all the way down where the beautiful homes that's called Kokio is, you have that beach that's called Manini Owali. And Manini Owali is that beach, and Kua Bay is further out. But anyway, you can watch the white sandy beach, and the water comes up on the sand, and then you begin, and then when the white water comes up, Allah Ke Ola goes back on the sand, and then the next pattern. So that's how you begin to practice. All right, so let's begin. Now, in the first line, it talks about our journey, our life path, whatever you want to focus on, that's what you want to begin to practice in your breathing and practice in your chanting. All right, let's begin. Allah Ke Ola. All right. So one more time. As you sort of looking into the ocean, you're seeing that whole white water. That's that journey in your life that you're trying to clear out. Because if you watch the water, if you watch that ocean, there is nothing in front of it. And that's what we got to do. We got to clear everything that's in our life, throw them to the side. And then when the water comes and it rushes in, and then it washes it out again. That's that whole mana'o, that whole thought. Okay, up. Allah Ke Ola. One more time. Allah Ke Ola. So now that we left off on the vowel A, we're going to begin with A in the second line. That's how we can deal with memory loss or memory prevention. So that you can A, and then you start A again. And guess what? We're going to end with the letter E, because A, E, I, O, and U. And this is how we prevent. We prevent. Because right now we're going to videotape, like all of us press record. And I'm telling you, the one that's going to be smarter is the recorder and not you. That's why you sit presently and you begin to understand Kumu's stories. And so you can remember that we're going to start with end with A, and start with A, and we end with E. So the next line is ʻElele ka pono I. Okay? So ʻElele, repeat after me. ʻElele ka pono ʻElele ka pono. ʻElele, lele means to jump. Lele means to fly. Lele means to hop. So as I shared in the Hawaiian words, there's many, many ideas of this whole one word. ʻElele is to now become the one that takes that message and takes it out for everyone. And what the message we're taking out is kapono. Kapono is what is right. So if you're here in the on our lanai, you will see that Kumu sees that a Lauhala Map is here. And in old Hawaii, whenever there's an Lauhala Mat in the house, you do not walk on the Lauhala Mat with your shoes. You take your shoes off. And the reason is in old Hawaii, these Lauhala Mats were made by the people who own that house. And it's hard work. Today we go Walmart. We buy Walmart, we buy it. We buy all this Lauhala. And then, but it's the tradition. Even though this is Lauhala Mat made from Philippines, it's the tradition of understanding and honoring a Lauhala Mat. And so if you come, you see Kumu's feet is no shoes. And it's a tradition. And this is what is pono. In Kumu's upbringing, what is right is that whenever I see a Lauhala Mat, I could be walking in an office, Lauhala Mat, and if I have to walk, I take my shoes off, walk over the Lauhala Mat, put my shoes on, and then, but today life is a little bit, no. But if we're trying to teach respect, this is what's so important. We have to model. And so I take my shoes off whenever I'm walking in on top of a Lauhala Mat. And so people said, no, just put the Lauhala Mat. I goes, well, if you don't want me to walk on it with my shoes, then don't put it there. Remove the Lauhala Mat so that everybody can make walk with shoes. But this again is what is pono. And to me, pono is doing it what is right. Right is right, what is certainly understanding of what old tradition is all about. So becoming a messenger, hence the reason why I'm sharing. This is my message that the Lauhala Mat is very, very important. No matter if the Lauhala Mat comes from Singapore or Philippines, the Lauhala Mat, if you've ever knew how to make this Lauhala Mat, you will know why. You do not walk your shoes on this Lauhala Mat because the leaves have thorns, and to clean the leaf, it's a lot of work. Then you have to pound the leaves in the ocean. You have to straighten the leaf out, cut the leaves, and then begin to weave them. So it's hard work to walk on these Lauhala mats. So hence the reason we have to understand what is pono for us. I love it that everyone that moves in says, "Oh yeah, when you're local, you have to take your shoes off by the door." No, the story behind that is you take your shoes outside the door because the first thing that is in the house is a lauhala mat. That's why we take our shoes off out of the house. But today, no more lauhala mat. Why you take your shoes off? Walk in with your shoes. But the second thought behind that is we walk all over outside of the house. You could have walked on a dog shit, and now you're gonna trap that all on the rug inside of the house. Hence the reason we take our shoes off. So we have to find out what is pono and what is pono for the person that you come to visit the house. And this is what is right. So we become a messenger. ʻElele ka pono i. So we say, listen first. ʻElele ka pono i. One more time. Listen. ʻElele ka pono i. Okay, so we're gonna do two lines. First. Ala Ke Ola ʻElele pono. So again, not only that we're trying to understand the words, trying to understand the stories, we're also trying to breathe. And that's what's so important, how to breathe. And this is how we begin to really develop and grow in our Ola, in our life. So now, the third line, we stopped with E. Now we begin with E, and we're going to end with O. A, E, O. So we're going to end up with O. So the word is ʻIʻini. Say the word ʻIʻini. 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 Ke ala muao. Ke ala muao. Ke ala muao. Yeah. ʻIʻini ke ala muao. In Hawaii, we look at our kupuna, our elders, and all of our elders, even if you're looking in your genealogy, they are the ones that went before us. So all our kupuna, they are in front of us. Yeah. And when they go into front of us, we have this ʻiʻini. ʻIʻini is this desire, this really focus on what is our path in front of us. Ke ala muao. That ke ala is that journey in mua in front of us. And those that went before us, this is our grandfather, grandmother, all of them that went before us. And they certainly have a relationship to who we are today. And we desire to know that. If we don't, we should. Hence the reason why we are who we are today, because of all of our elders that went before us. And so Imua is the ones that led us or is leading us. And the ones in the back, those are the children that are coming. And so we have to make sure that we are setting the right pathway for them so that they step into our shoes, we step into the elder's shoes. And so when we say ʻIʻini ke ala mua, is we desire, we seek for everything that is before us. Yeah. So before us is our elders. Before us is wondering who walked upon this land is really, really important. I share this story because 22 years ago, I lived on Oahu. In 22 years, I've been here on Hawaii Island. And being on Hawaii Island, the history of our people, the Hawaiian history, is so alive here. And so when I say it's so alive, I had to read a book about King Kamehameha residing at Ahuena. Moving here, I went straight to Ahuena and I sat there right over there next to Ahuena and I just looked at every stone. And when you look at every stone, you can see our people actually putting the stones there. That you cannot see in the book. But when you go, you can see them strapping all the hay, the grass, the peely grass, all the amau ferns, all on top of the hale. In the book, you cannot see that. And so this is why I so enjoy being on this island. It was mentioned that I teach Hawaiian language at Konoina Middle. I teach from the idea of Henry Opukahaia. And so I teach the kids about Henry Opukahaia to let them know that Henry Opukahaia left right here at Keala Kekua. He didn't live over there in Kauai. Now, really, he didn't live at Waikiki. He left right here in our hometown, right here, Keala Kekua. And he jumped on a ship called the Trumpet. And he rowed the ship all the way up over to the East Coast. And when he rode on this ship, he was taught the English language, the Christian Bible, the Christian faith. And as he journeyed over there, he desired that this group of people, the Christians, he wanted them to come to Hawaii to share this book that he called the Bible to the Hawaiian people here. And so he worked on it. He started to learn the Christian faith. He started to, at a very young age, And then he petitioned to send a group of missionaries to Hawaii to bring the word. At the same time, he translated the book of Genesis from Hebrew into Hawaiian. He is noted to have done that. Then he also wrote the official letterings in the Hawaiian language, which the missionaries were taught when they arrived. So this journey was to be at 1819. They got word. But in 1818, Henry Opukaha'ia died in Connecticut, New Haven. So he never made the journey. However, this desire for him to send the Christians over here to help our people, that was his desire. So if it wasn't, we would have had a different alphabet, but this is the alphabet that we have. A, E, I, O, U. And then our consonants are He, Ke, La, Mu, Nu, Pi, Ve. And then we have the Okina. So this is that journey, that pathway. And this is the story that I want our kids to learn because it's not somewhere else. It's right here in Keala. And so in 1993, one of the ancestors, the Henry Opukahaia's family member, actually brought his remains. And now Henry Opukahaia is buried on the grounds of Kahikolu Church. So now we bring even deeper pilina to the Hawaiian language and understanding that. So ʻIʻini is having that desire to know why he jumped on that ship and why he desired to bring the missionaries to Hawaii. That's that ʻIʻini of what went before us. And then we can understand it. So let's listen to this verse. ʻIʻini ke alamua o. One more time. Listen. ʻIʻini ke alamua o. Let's try that. I. ʻIʻini ke alamua o. One more time. ʻIʻini ke alamua o. From the top. Ala Ke Ola ʻElele ka pono ʻIʻini ke alamua o. So now we end with O, and now we're going to begin with O. So the word is O, ʻOʻoleʻa. Repeat after me. ʻOʻoleʻa. O, ʻOʻoleʻa. ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. Kamana. O, ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. And then the last vowel is U. Yeah. So the words go ʻOʻoleʻa kamana u. So ʻOʻoleʻa, le'a is to have fun, like ho'olaule'a. Ho'olaule'a is a festival. Le'a le'a is joyful, enjoying. But this one, it says o'ole'a. O'o is like a digging stick for our farmers. And our digging stick, that's the o'o. So they would use the o'o to dig the ground and plant their miakanu. And so we say o'ole'a. And o'ole'a is to have fun, but be on top of it. And so you want to be firm and determined on what you want in your Allah, in your journey. But this determination is based upon your mana, ka mana. And mana Many of my kids in school said, it's power. I goes, yeah, it's power. But mana is also your spiritual connection. You want to be very, very firm and determined on that spirit, spiritual connection. And if you are, then you would know what this love was talked about and what love is and how love in the reading today talks that we love everyone unconditional, whether we hate them or not. And if you hate them, you should love them even more. And the reason is because we have a saying in Hawaiian and it says, O ke aloha ka mea I ho'olai, which means it is love that brings healing. And then the word says, O ka huhu ka mea I ho'olaʻoleʻa. And it's this anger, this hate, this dislike, whatever English language you want to feel towards this person, it never brings healing. To who? You. And the reason is because we still got them under our mind that, oh my gosh, she's just driving me nuts. So in Hawaii, we have those two words, o ka mea, o ke aloha ka mea I ho'ola ai, o ka huhu ka mea I ho'ola ole ai. Anger will never bring healing. Love or compassion will always bring healing. And so by gifting your gift, you give for your healing, not for their healing. And this is where it's so, so important. But if you continue to have hoo-hoo, anger, no matter what cookie you give, you're still going to be mad. So it's up to you. And this is where you have to make a determination. ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. You be very, very firm on what you see, what gives you that strength, that spiritual strength. So let's listen. ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. Again, listen. ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. Let's try that line. And ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. One more time. ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. Good from the top. Ala Ke Ola ʻElele ka pono ʻIʻini ke ala mua ʻOʻoleʻa kamana. So now we finished with U. We're going to begin with U again. And this one is ʻUlele. Say ʻUlele. One more time. ʻUlele. And the helpful thing is we're going to ʻUlele Ke Ola. Ke Ola is this journey, this path. And ʻUlele, as I shared with you, lele means to jump, fly, move. ʻUlele is to do it very swiftly. So when you do something that you have ʻOʻoleʻa, you're firm on this decision in your spirit. You wanna ʻUlele. You wanna move so quickly on it. Go very swiftly on this journey, that journey that you have been on as you chant. So you say ʻUlele ke ala. Then we end with e because we ended our vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Then back to e. So we go, and this A is the E because in chanting, you end your chant with the A because then you have a vibrato sound and it have a thrill. And that's where you end that A. So that's how we end our chant. So listen to the last line. ʻUlele ke ala e. One more time. Ala e. Okay, now let's do it together. And ʻUlele ke ala e. One more time. ʻUlele ke ala e. Good from the top. Ala ke ola ʻElele ka pono ʻIʻini ke ala mua o ʻOʻoleʻa ka manau ʻUlele ke ala e. So this is our chant, and this is a chant that I wanted to share with everyone today. Again, because we're in this whole coming out of this pandemic, we were certainly continuing to look for our journey, and we always need to find our journey within ourselves versus around us. Because if you find it here within you, then you can find it on the outside. It's like what I always share is the words are aloha aku, aloha mai, which means to give love or compassion or gentleness or unity or truth or humbleness, patience. That's what I'm saying about this one word that means so many things. Then it comes back. But my example is I want to give you $1, but in my pocket, I only have 50 cents, which means I only know what love is 50 cents of the time. However, I need to know what love is $1 in order for me to give you $1. And that's what this term, aloha aku, aloha mai, you can only give what you know and what you have to give. Yeah? In our book, we had a lot of words about what aloha was all about. And that's a lot to take. But if we were to just begin to really focus on every word, our pockets will begin to get so big that we are able to give what the word of today's from the science talking about love. We are able to give it because our pockets will be huge once we understand it, much like the chant. The chant will be used if you go down into the ocean and you chant that first ala ke ola e. And if you don't know the entire chant, just use that first one, that first line, because that's what the chant is all about, the pathway of life. So if that's what we're working on, that's what we're going to look at. I talk about a place like I used to visit Netherlands, and over there, there's no ocean, but they love to ride bikes. So I would sit in the park, watch when the bike leave one Norfolk pine tree and make them leave that one, and I use that ala ke ola, and then make them go all the way to the last Norfolk pine. Then that's my still practice, and it's so cute because when you're doing that, your energy that you are provoking in your words, they feel it because I can see them riding their bike and they're like looking at me, and I'm going like ala ke ola e. And then I did it in Japan. Japan, there's no ocean. I mean, I always end up in the countryside. So I watched the van and the van going across the bridge because it's a long bridge. And I say, ala ke ola e. And I used to tell a really funny story that we, up in Waimea, you would be able to use that almost 20 years ago because there would be like one car that passes for a good 5 minutes and then the next car. But today it's traffic up there, too many cars. So we have to find ways to really help us with our breathing, and that's when we see it. We breathe that wave. We see the bike. We can see the car. Whatever works, that's what's gonna help. All right. So we're gonna do it one more time, and then I'm done. Ala Ke Ola ʻElele ka pono ʻIʻini ke ala mua ʻOʻoleʻa ka mana'u ʻUlele ke ala Again, mahalo nui. I'm sure the words are on our website, New Thought website. But the words are there if you want to check your spelling. Um, and and now we have it on our website. So mahalo anui loa. Hi.
Mahalo.
You're welcome.
So now we get to pass around the cold bowl,
Okay.
and you get to play some more of your beautiful music for us. And if you're at home, you can go on our website and donate that way. It's much appreciated. Keeping the lights on.
O ko alo hano a i kala a o ko ia i o he he mole le ho mai na I no ino na he na kana a o ko I o he he mole le ho ko uno mi ana apa oi ko ko kai ko no no laila e kaku ala loko o mako nuhia a maulua kuno
Beautiful. So beautiful. So I'm gonna just turn this slightly because I'm kind of cut in half. I hate that when that happens. I like to be whole.
Thank
So
you.
touched by your wonderful teachings.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to do our announcements now. And Keala, would you like to announce anything for future besides, on the island that you would like to share?
Thank you. I know it's actually going to be tomorrow is my third meeting time for beginners Hawaiian language. So it's the third night that we've been started a very beginners class. Very beginners is ʻAʻeʻiʻoʻu. That's how beginners we are right now. Um, it is at four. No, that's hula. Hula at 4 o'clock at the Outrigger, which is the old Sheraton on the Bayview lawn. That's next to the big ulu trees. So that's hula at 4 to 5:30, and then Hawaiian language is in the Aloha Center, which is on the second floor of the hotel. In the Aloha Center, that starts at 6, and it goes from 6 to 7:30.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you so
you're welcome.
much. All right. So here at New Thought, we start at 10, as you know, here on the Lanai, and you can watch us on YouTube, and you can watch us live or you can watch us later. You can watch past ones too. So it's really, there's a plethora of wonderful teachings out there for you if you'd like to go there. So we do have free childcare if you let us know by the Friday before. And so for the next 3 Sundays, um, Kaimana Lighthawk is going to be doing Island Insights on the Spiritual Path, and the music is by Jeff Tree. And Jeff has played for us before, and he was quite good. And so we're looking forward to that. And on 9/11, we have Dreaming Bear is here, and a Baraka Kanana is the program is music romancing inspiration. And on the 18th of September, Lindsay Roth, from memes to dreams, dream work to cultivate insight, intuition, and instinct. And right now we have a weekly class um, that is a Jen An Wong, and he's a fabulous Tai Chi teacher. Terry and I were here last week, and we please come because we don't want to not have enough beings here. I know a couple of people had to go away, but I have just in the few classes I've taken, I've found that I'm a little more aware of my knees being lined up with my foot, so I'm not stressing my knee out. So it's about balance, about becoming more balanced in our bodies, which, especially as we mature, is a really good idea because no falling down. It doesn't, we don't bounce anymore.
No.
So, Tai Chi is very good to get your balance. And that's Monday nights with a suggested donation of $15 at 5 o'clock. So, please come if you may, if you can, if you're interested. We'd love that. So, that's tomorrow night. And so monthly, we do our at the end of the month, we do our produce giveaway, and that's today. And so if you have extra produce or if you'd like some produce, please come. And we have it back here today, I believe. And then on the first Sunday of the month, before service, we have a healing meditation with the crystal bowls. Yes, yes, that is at 8 o'clock, and that's next week on the 4th, and there's no charge. And 8:30, you're right, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Sorry. Don't get here at 8 unless you just want to kind of be here by yourself. So at 8:30, Aranis will be here to do the beautiful healing bowls. So we do have service opportunities for everyone and anyone that would like to come and help us. Volunteers to greet, to help set up, to clean up, tech help. Pamakai's done a great job today. And we're also, um, and if you do a workshop with and facilitate, you get to do the workshop for free for doing the paperwork and whatnot. So planning for the 50th anniversary, we're going on 51, but we're still going to party. And So we're working on that. So if you'd like to help with that, please get online. We're going to do an online auction. So think about what you'd like to donate to that. I know I have a painting or two that would like to come out. So so please speak to one of the board members about that, or you can reply Spirit of Hawaii at newthoughtscenterofhawaii.com. And please be on our mailing list for that. So now we get to gather and sing our closing song.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. And we're taking Kumu Keala Ching to the Royal Thai restaurant down in Keoho. And so, how many people would like to go with that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, so that way it's eight, of course. And so that way we have an idea to let them know that we're coming down. Okay, so now we can sing.
All right. Thank you. E Hawaii e ku o ne hanau e ku home hula I ne oli no au I na pono lani o e Hawaii aloha e hau oli e nā opi o Hawaii ne e oli oli mai nā ahe makani e pamai ne mau ke aloha no Hawaii e haʻi mai kou mau kini lani o kou mau kupa aloha e Hawaii nā mea oli no ka mahao no luna mai e Hawaii aloha e hau oli e nā opi o Hawaii ne e oli oli mai nā ahe makani e pamai ne mau ke aloha no Hawaii nā ke akua e malama mai a oi ko makua lono aloha nei ko mau kaha vai o lino mau ko mau mala huanani e hau oli e nā opi o Hawaii ne e oli oli mai nā ahe makani e pamai ne mau ke aloha no Hawaii mau ke aloha no Hawaii Ke Ola mahalo nui you're welcome